Wow, what a week it's been. Absolutely mind-blowing what's happened here over just a very short period of time. If we thought that the mortgage real estate market in the United States was in turmoil, you ain't seen nothing yet. In the last few days, I know even on a personal level, I'm getting calls from many homeowners who are saying, Mike, do I even make my payments on my home mortgage? Who the heck owns the deed on my property? And what's all this talk in the papers and on the news media that the bank that I'm paying may not even be the owner of the mortgage? What is it that I should do and what's actually happening? So that's kind of the micro level that we're going to bring it back down to. What I want to start with today with my guest Steve Hawks is the 30,000 bird eye view on what's actually going on. So that's kind of where we're going to end out. Where it goes for the little guy out there who has the home and how he should interact with his own bank in this situation and what it means to him. But let's backtrack right to the beginning. Let's go back to those days when all those mortgages were packaged up and they were put in mortgage-backed securities and sold off. Let's start there. Let's go with that, Steve. Tell us a little bit.
Well, the dilemma we have right now originally started 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago when they originally packaged these loans. If you recall, there was mortgage brokers on almost every corner. They're like CVS and Walgreens, almost on every corner. And these lenders were doing hundreds, thousands of loans and brokering them out, selling them off. They weren't even getting people's income. Do you really think they kept the deeds to these properties and that correct paperwork, which is now becoming a problem?
Now, when you say not even getting their proper paperwork, let's go back to what happened there, because we have international viewers. We have Americans, Canadians, we have some people in Europe, we have some people in Asia, so we have an international audience. So a lot of people may not understand exactly what actually went on. So look, we're in the epicenter, right, of where the whole, if I can go so far as the most advanced stages of mortgage fraud took place, which was right here in Las Vegas. Stated income, stated documents. We had some people on limited income that were buying 5 properties in a month towards the end, and they really had no qualification ability.
5? Try 25.
Or 25.
No exaggeration.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. How did it get so out of control here? And what was the hunger on Wall Street that allowed such fundamental irresponsible financial carnage to occur?
Well, the old-fashioned greed. There was a lot of money out there. People wanted a higher return. They had a certain amount of money. There was loans. There was all the loans they could do for paper borrowers. Well, but they still had money. So they had to create more loans. So they just lowered the standards, lower the standards, lower the standards, until basically everyone could get a loan. And when I say everyone, I mean even Angela Millow said if you can fog a mirror, you should be able to get a loan.
Now, who's Angela Millow?
Angela Mazzillo from Countrywide.
Ah, yes.
You've probably seen him in the news lately. He basically spearheaded almost everybody having the ability to get a loan, whether you could pay it back in the future or not. That's when you're referring to people buying 5, 10, 15 houses. They were buying 5, 10, 15 houses. Many people were buying 10 owner-occupied homes. For example, if somebody would go buy a owner-occupied home, because they would get a lower rate for owner-occupied. So they would buy one with one mortgage broker, go buy another one with another mortgage broker, and then the mortgage brokers were able to get them 4 owner-occupied homes in a 30 to 60 day period before it would show up on their credit report. So therefore, you have one person being able to buy 8 homes, no money down, owner-occupied. That was at the beginning. That was 05, that was 04, 05. Then you start getting 05, 06, it started getting even easier, where that person now could buy 4 more as long as they were more expensive. But they had to do it in a 30 to 60 day period, because the reason why that 30 to 60 day period is because the lenders would pull the credit report. So if you had a property on there that was larger than the one you're buying, they would know that was your primary residence. But it would take 30, 60, 90 days for them to report it because the loans were getting sold. And they never pulled their credit, and by the time they sold it, it could be 3, 6, 9 months down the road, so that doesn't show up on a person's credit report. Therefore, when they pull the credit, it looks like this will be their own occupied home. That was one way that people were being able to buy the no money down loans owner occupied. And then, as I stated before, money, there was so much money out there and not enough loans that they reduced the standards and said, now you can buy an investment property, no money down. You can buy 10 of them, no money down, as long as your credit was good.
Mm-hmm.
So then they would do that. And then those loans, all those loans were used up, but they still had extra money. Because now you had people buying no money down, owner occupied. Then you had people buying no money down, investor that qualified. Well, now they reduced it to no money down. We're not even going to check your assets. Just have a decent credit score. So that opened the floodgates. And now you had people buying 10, 15 properties, no money down, investments with other people's credit. Let's say that you use 10. You would get somebody else and they would get their credit. There's people coming out of LA using people's credit and buying 10, 15 homes. So all these loans were getting done in a short period of time with little documentation needed. That was their standards. Don't worry about the documentation. Well, that carried on into the recording process and the securitization process, because the lack of information, lack of paperwork wasn't just in the person getting a loan, but it also fell into...
Stop there. So